So let's start with the early days. So what were William and Harry's feelings towards Camilla when she first came into their life?
Everybody in the world knew that Diana was trying to, was fighting, battling Camilla to try and save her marriage.
How did she go from being seen as Britain's most hated woman
This must have been an absolutely traumatic period
to loved royally?
From the moment Camilla became Prince Charles's partner, there has been a lot of drama and debate. There were reports that she might have had something to do with Princess Diana's tragic accident, and many people thought she was trying to steal the show from Diana. Also, Camilla and Prince Harry have had some disagreements. Prince Harry has called her a bad person and a threat to the family. In fact, that's only the beginning. Camilla has also had problems with Kate Middleton, who is loved by many in the royal family. What is Queen Camilla going to do next? What does Prince Charles have to do with it all? What does Prince William think about Camilla's behaviour towards Kate, his wife? Crises, scandals and issues have caused a lot of trouble for the government. These have also affected the royal family. The latest surprise was when Prince William made a choice that placed Queen Camilla in the centre of attention. This shocked the world and had everyone talking about what Prince William revealed. He has finally spoken out about Queen Camilla after years of rumours. He made a choice that makes many people wonder about the future of the monarchy. People are talking about secret conflicts, complicated family relationships, and what William's sudden move means for the future of the royal family. To get into these new details, let's take a moment to remember how Queen Camilla and Prince William met, how they interacted at first, and how the royal family has changed over time. Camilla Rosemary Shand was born in London on July 17, 1947. She has since become Queen Camilla and is married to King Charles III. Camilla didn't come from an aristocratic family like many royal partners do. Major Bruce Shand was her father. He was an officer in the British Army and then worked as a wine dealer. There was plenty of good things in life for Camilla's family, but they weren't exactly wealthy. Her father, Major Bruce Shand, was an officer in the British Army who later worked as a wine trader. Her mother, Rosalind Cubitt, was Roland Cubitt, the 3rd Baron Asham's daughter. However, because they were from an upper-middle-class background, some people had doubts about Camilla's relationship with Prince Charles. This made things more difficult between her and Prince William as well. Camilla grew up in both the city and the country. She loved being outside and animals, especially horses, while she was living in the country. She went to a lot of different schools. In addition to Dumbrell School in Sussex and Queensgate School in South Kensington, she also continued her schooling in Switzerland and France. Many of Camilla's friends went on to college, but she chose to work as a secretary in London's West End instead. This way, she got real-world experience before going to college. Camilla's younger sister, Annabel Elliot, who was born in 1949, has always been an important part of her life. The outdoors was something the two sisters loved, and Annabel was always there for Camilla when she needed help. Their close relationship helped them a lot when Camilla was going through hard times and was being closely watched by the press. The public's view of Camilla became more confusing over time as her relationship with Prince Charles grew. This was partly because of her background and the nature of their relationship. It was even more difficult because Prince William and the rest of the royal family had to figure out how they felt about Camilla, especially since Princess Diana was still very much alive in everyone's thoughts. It was a big deal at this time that Camilla was close with her sister Annabel. Camilla had a lot of trouble in her life, but Annabel was always there for her. As Camilla went from a more private life to being a princess, her past, her love of the countryside, and her ability to handle public criticism all had a big impact on who she became. Being in a public relationship with Prince Charles was hard at times, but these traits helped her handle it. Prince William's latest choices show that the royal family is still having a hard time deciding how to feel about Camilla's role. Her life, which was full of both good things and bad things, still affects her place in the royal family today. Let's look at how Camilla became a member of the royal family and the surprise choice Prince William made about her. People have always been very interested in Camilla's connection with King Charles, which included some extramarital affairs. Camilla Shand and Prince Charles met for the first time at a polo match in 1970. Camilla that year was 23 years old. She made an impression by confidently talking about their shared past. She talked about how Charles's great-great-grandfather, Edward VII, had an affair with her great-grandmother, Alice Keppel. Charles was interested in this brave move and how quickly they seemed to connect. Soon they realized they had a lot in common. They both liked being outside, reading and laughing at silly things. But it wasn't the right time for a serious relationship. Charles was about to start his job in the Navy, and the royal family didn't think Camilla would be a good match because she wasn't from an aristocratic family and had been in several relationships before. She married Andrew Parker Bowles in 1973, while Prince Charles was away on duty in the Navy. This marriage fit in well with their friends, but it hurt Charles deeply on an emotional level. Even after Camilla got married, Charles stayed close with both Camilla and Andrew. He even became the godfather of their son Tom, who was born in 1974. During the 1970s, Camilla balanced her friendship with Charles with her family life with Andrew. Tom and Laura were their two kids, but everyone knew that both Camilla and Andrew were having affairs with other women. As the pressure on Charles to find a good bride grew, he started going out with Lady Diana Spencer in 1980. Camilla is said to have supported this relationship because she thought Diana was young and easy to influence, and she didn't want to hurt her friendship with Charles. Camilla was there when Charles and Diana got married in 1981. Even though Charles was married to Diana, he still had a strong emotional link with Camilla. It's thought that they started seeing each other again in the mid-1980s, but the exact date isn't known. Camilla had a hard time during this time because she had to keep her feelings for Charles secret while also taking care of her family. Things got even messier when Prince William was born in 1982 and Prince Harry was born in 1984. Camilla didn't want her relationship with Charles to have an effect on the young princes, so she stayed out of the public eye when they were young. There was more talk about Camilla's role as Charles and Diana's marriage broke down in the late 1980s and early 1990s, when Andrew Morton's book, Diana, Her True Story, came out in 1992. It brought the situation to a head because it talked freely about Charles's relationship with Camilla. The next year, there was an incident called Camilla Gate, when a private phone call between Charles and Camilla was made public. This led to a lot of bad press and general anger toward Camilla. She pretty much shut herself off from everyone because the media paid so much attention to her and often made her look like the one who broke up Charles and Diana's marriage. It was hard to think that Camilla would one day be praised as Queen Camilla, even though she was constantly being watched and criticized. This change in how people thought about the royal family happened over a long period of time, long after the story first caused a lot of trouble. Let go over Camilla's first meeting with Prince Harry and how she became queen. During the rough time after Charles and Camilla's relationship became public, Camilla had few and often tense meetings with Prince William. William, who was old enough to understand how complicated things were, was torn between his duty to his mother, Princess Diana, and the fact that his father was still seeing Camilla. Both Charles and Diana's statements of cheating on their partners made the already tense family relationships even worse. Separate TV talks from Charles in 1994 and Diana in 1995 made things even more complicated because they made people dislike Camilla even more. The famous thing Diana said about her marriage having 3 people solidified Camilla's part as the bad guy in the royal saga. During these tough years, Camilla chose to keep quiet because she knew that anything she said or did could make things worse, especially with her relationship with Prince William. Camilla wanted to avoid making Prince William feel worse because she knew how hard it was for him as the son of an unhappy marriage. Because of this, William's acceptance of her as queen consort was a big surprise. Even after Charles and Diana's split was finalized in 1996, Camilla's situation stayed dangerous. She and Charles had to be careful, thinking about not only what other people would think, but also how William and his younger brother Harry felt. This fine balance set the stage for the complicated way the family would interact in the years to come. There was shock around the world when Princess Diana died on August 31st, 1997. The British royal family was greatly affected by her death. Camilla, who was well aware of how unpopular she was, stayed out of the public eye after the tragedy to show respect for the prince's grief and the country as a whole. During this time, Charles focused on helping his boys deal with their terrible loss. In the years after Diana's death, Charles and Camilla kept dating, but they didn't tell anyone about it because they knew how sensitive it was, especially when it came to William and Harry. William was only 15 years old and Harry was 12. They were both having a hard time dealing with the death of their mother and their father's relationship with Camilla. The slow and tricky process of officially introducing Camilla to his sons began for Charles. It wasn't easy to do this, especially since there was clear proof that Diana was right about there being a third person in her marriage to Charles. William, who was old enough to understand what was going on, had mixed feelings about Camilla because she was a big reason why his parents' relationship was having trouble. Charles was eager to get his sons to accept Camilla, even though there were problems. Charles said that Camilla had met both William and Harry in 1998, a year after Diana's death. The first talks were kept secret so that no one from the media could see them. Charles knew that bringing Camilla into the family would take time, so he planned casual get-togethers for William and Harry to spend time with her in a more casual setting in the hopes that this would help them get along better with her. As the year 2000 got closer, Charles and Camilla started going out together more often. They were seen leaving the Ritz Hotel in London in 1999 after going to the 50th birthday party for Camilla's sister Annabelle. This event was important because it was one of the first times people saw them together in public. However, it also showed how hard it is for Camilla to get accepted by the people. A lot of people were still sad about Princess Diana's death and weren't ready for another woman to take her place in the royal family. Even though Charles and Camilla were getting a lot of negative feedback and attention, they kept going and slowly started making more public appearances as a pair. In 2000, Queen Elizabeth II showed a big sign of acceptance for Camilla by going to a lunch where Camilla was. People saw this as a clear but subtle sign that they liked Charles and Camilla's relationship. It was an important step on their way to becoming accepted by the public. During this time, William's bond with Camilla stayed complicated. He had to balance his memories of his mother Diana and his love for her with his awareness of his dad's happiness as he got older. William kept a polite but somewhat distant friendship with Camilla. He knew how important she was to his dad, but he needed some time to think about how he felt about the past. In 2003, Camilla moved into Clarence House, which is Charles's home in London. Camilla was becoming a more permanent part of Charles's life with this move, which made their relationship more legal and long-lasting. It also meant that William and Harry would see Camilla more often when they went to see their dad, which added another layer to how their family was changing. Even though things were changing, Charles continued to carefully bring Camilla into the family, always keeping in mind the sensitive feelings of his boys in particular. On the way to acceptance, there were careful steps and attempts to make sure that both William and Harry were okay with the new family dynamics. As Charles and Camilla's relationship became more well-known, they had to find a way to be accepted while still honouring Diana's memory. They put in a lot of work to show that Camilla could be a good partner for Charles in public and in private. Adding Camilla to the royal family was hard, but it was the start of a new era in the monarchy's history. Camilla's slow acceptance of her role as queen consort showed how strong and complicated royal relationships can be. When Camilla married Charles in a civil wedding in 2004, she became a member of the royal family. Because their past was so complicated and Camilla was separated, this choice was a nod to that. After the wedding, both William and Harry went to the blessing, which showed the public that they were united. William was very important at the wedding because he read a prayer. Many people saw this as a sign that he agreed with his dad's marriage. Many people saw William's action as an indication of his growth and his readiness to start this new part of their family life. The wedding itself was the start of a new era for the British royal family. Because they wanted to honour Diana's memory, Camilla was given the title of Duchess of Cornwall instead of Princess of Wales. William saw the wedding as more than just a formal event. It was a clear recognition of Camilla's role in his father's life, which led to his own. While William was studying at the University of St Andrews, Charles and Camilla quickly got down to their royal tasks after the wedding. During this time, William made sure to stay out of the public eye while the news was all about his dad's new marriage. Between the death of Diana and the wedding of Charles and Camilla, there were a lot of big changes in the royal family, especially for William. It was a time of deep sadness, personal growth, and finally getting used to the way things worked in the new family. But later, when new, disturbing facts came to light, this feeling of acceptance would be put to the test. Before getting into those events, it's important to look at some of the problems that Queen Camilla had, since they might have affected how William felt about his stepmother in the end. People talked a lot about Camilla's title after she married Prince Charles in 2005. Camilla was not given the title Princess of Wales, which is tied to the late Princess Diana. Instead, she was given the title Duchess of Cornwall. This decision was made with a lot of thought to honour Diana's memory and take into account the public's strong feelings. Many people fell in love with Princess Diana while she was with the royal family, and she was still loved years after her sad death in 1997. Camilla chose not to use the title Princess of Wales on purpose to honour Diana's memory and show appreciation for how much people still love her. Understanding these complexities is important for looking at how William's relationship with Camilla has changed over time and how the royal family works as a whole. A lot of people still thought that Diana was the real Princess of Wales, while Camilla was often seen as a stranger who had messed up the future of the royal family. Camilla did the right thing by not using the term Princess of Wales. She wanted to honour Diana's memory and show respect for how much people still love her. This choice was also part of a plan to make Camilla feel more at ease in the royal family and boost her popularity with the British people. Camilla was still a controversial figure when she married Charles. She was often blamed for the breakup of Charles and Diana's marriage. Camilla could slowly get used to her new role without being directly compared to Diana by taking on the less important title of Duchess of Cornwall. This would have been harder for both her and the public to handle, but the problem with Camilla's title didn't end there. It was said that Camilla would be called Princess Consort instead of Queen Consort when Charles became king. The goal of this choice was to show respect for the people and set Camilla's role apart from those of previous Queen Consorts. Still, some people didn't like this plan. Constitutional experts said that Camilla would formally become Queen Consort when Charles became king, no matter what title was used. Some people thought that the term Princess Consort was an unnecessary addition to royal traditions because it had never been used before in British royal history. Over time, Camilla won over more and more people with her dedication to her royal tasks, her friendly personality, and her clear support for Prince Charles. Her appearance got a lot better, which led to new talks about her future title. At first, some people thought that the name Princess Consort might be changed. As Queen Elizabeth II's rule got closer to its end, these rumours grew. This made the question of Camilla's future role more important. Queen Elizabeth told Camilla that she really wanted to be known as Queen Consort when Charles became king, which came as a surprise right before her Platinum Jubilee in February 2022. With this news, the long-running argument about Camilla's title was over. It was clear that the Queen supported Camilla when she spoke out in favour of her, recognising her years of service to the royal family. It was also a big change from the choice that was made when Charles and Camilla got married the first time. This shows how people's views of Camilla have changed over the years. This change in Camilla's position and the growing acceptance of her probably made Prince William feel a lot of different things. As a young man, William had to find a way to make his father happy while also remembering his mother. He had to deal with his own feelings about his family's past, while also thinking about the future of the kingdom and his father's part in it. Prince William's relationship with Camilla kept changing as her place in the royal family grew. These changes were caused by both personal feelings and public expectations. At first, the choice to make Camilla the Duchess of Cornwall and then to plan for her to become Princess Consort might have made William feel better. With these names, he had time to slowly get used to having her in the family. That being said, when Queen Elizabeth II backed Camilla as the future Queen Consort, her situation became much clearer. This support probably helped William deal with how things were changing because it made clear what Camilla's constitutional role would be. William would have known that having a Princess Consort instead of a Queen Consort could cause problems, so what the Queen said might have made it easier for him to accept Camilla's new role. Other members of the royal family also didn't agree with Camilla. Camilla was not sure about her job as Queen Consort, according to Princess Anne, who is the Queen's daughter and Charles's sister. Angela Levin, a royal historian who wrote Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, a royal survivor, says that Anne and Camilla didn't get along at first. Anne's direct, no-nonsense attitude kept her away from Camilla, which made their meetings tense and awkward. Camilla had a hard time dealing with Anne's cold attitude. Aside from their personal differences, Anne also didn't think Camilla would ever be fully accepted as queen. Princess Diana's designer agreed with Anne and said she thought Camilla would never be fully accepted. The friendship between Prince William and Queen Camilla has changed a lot over the years. It used to be awkward, but now they treat each other with more respect. But this relationship has had some problems, especially when it comes to how Camilla and Kate Middleton deal with each other. Kate's marriage to William in 2011 changed the royal family in many ways from the start. Camilla and Kate have been tense because they have been snubbing each other and having arguments. The problems at the root of William's relationship with Camilla have made it more complicated. William has tried to support his father's new marriage and keep a polite public image. But the problems between Camilla and Kate have made it harder for him to fully accept Camilla's new role in the family. The situation became clearer during King Charles's coronation, when the problems between Camilla and Kate were especially clear. Such a public event brought to light the ongoing problems in the royal family and made these problems known to everyone. Despite these problems, William has kept his attention on his royal tasks and his family duties. He has also been careful to avoid getting too emotional in his royal relationships. Camilla, Kate, and William's relationship is changing over time. This shows how complicated and emotional the modern royal family is, where private feelings and public roles often interact in complicated ways. The rumoured fight between Kate Middleton and Queen Camilla seems to have roots in both private and public relationships, starting with Camilla's initial doubts and what she saw as jealousy over Kate's fame. Some things that have happened and acts that have been taken by both women have made this tension worse. It was said that Kate and Camilla got into a bigger fight during King Charles' crowning on May 6th. Tom Bower, a royal historian, pointed out a moment of clear tension, Kate's break from royal protocol. As Charles and Camilla left Westminster Abbey, Kate didn't bow or curtsy to Camilla, which was different from the other people there who were being polite. Some saw this as an intentional snub, which shows that Kate and Camilla are still having problems with each other. Camilla's choice to ask Rose Hanbury, the Marchioness of Cholmondeley, to the coronation made things between them even more complicated. In 2019, there were reports that Hanbury was having an affair with Prince William, which put a lot of stress on his marriage to Kate. Having Hanbury at such a public event probably added to the tension, since it could have been seen as an insult or an attempt to stir up trouble after the reports. The bigger problems in the royal family are shown by these events, where private problems and public duties mix in tricky ways. Kate and Camilla's ongoing tension shows not only their own problems, but also the complicated web of relationships and past issues that affect how the royal family works. There is no doubt that the ongoing conflict between Kate Middleton and Queen Camilla has had major effects on the royal family. The anger, which is caused by perceived slights and personal grudges, has affected the family ties, including how Prince William talks to his stepmother. Reports of Camilla's jealousy and what were seen as attacks on Kate, along with the incident involving her call to Rose Hanbury, show that the two women have deep-seated problems. This conflict has not only hurt their relationship, but it has also changed the way the royal family works, which has affected William's role and choices. King Charles is said to have been moved to tears by William's unexpected choice about Camilla. This is a big change in how their family works. This choice shows how complicated royal relationships are and how personal grudges can affect how people act in public and in private. In terms of Annabel Elliott's job, it's important to note that she was hired as the chief designer for Charles's estates as a way to better handle and improve the royal properties. Annabel, Camilla's younger sister, used her skills to update and decorate large estates, as well as high-end rental cabins. This job had real-world effects on how royal properties were managed, and it also showed how the royal family's roles and links are very complicated. These events show how personal and public matters are delicately balanced in the royal family, and how choices and ties between individuals can have big impacts on how they work together. Prince William's choice not to hire Annabel Elliott again shows a bigger change in how the royal family runs its business, especially when it comes to hiring close family members. When William became Duke of Cornwall, things changed for Annabel. She had been well paid for her work on the duchy's lands and had made a big difference. This choice seems to show that William wants to run the royal family in a more modern and open way. By not hiring Annabel again, William seems to be emphasizing a move away from traditional ways of doing things, which may have been affected by personal ties. This might be a part of a bigger plan to make things run more smoothly and make sure that the royal family's money and decisions are made based on merit and speed. William's choice is in line with what we know about his commitment to openness, such as his plan to pay income tax on the money he makes from the duchy. This is part of his efforts to bring royal practices up to date and in line with modern expectations. The fact that Annabel was not kept, even though she was close with Camilla, shows how complicated things are in the royal family. That shows how personal relationships can affect work choices, which can have an effect on the family's public image and relationships within the family. Overall, this choice shows a move toward a more modern, open and streamlined way of running royal affairs, which is in line with Prince William's hopes for the future of the monarchy. Even though Annabel Elliot is close to Queen Camilla, Prince William decided not to hire her again. This shows a big change in how the royal family runs its business. This action shows that William is serious about being professional and thinking ahead as he handles his duties as Duke of Cornwall and future king. There are bigger effects of this ruling that show how the British monarchy is changing. By staying away from Camilla's family, William seems to be putting more emphasis on merit-based appointments and a more modern way of doing royal tasks. William is clearly eager to create his own style of leadership, one that values honesty and efficiency, as this is different from what his father did. There are still a lot of complicated relationships within the royal family, like those between Prince Harry and Kate Middleton, and people still love Princess Diana. These relationships will continue to have a big impact on the future of the kingdom. Camilla's role is still being closely watched as she deals with her place in a family and public situation that is still affected by problems from the past. As the monarchy changes, it will be important to keep the support of the people and carefully control how things work within the kingdom. How William handles these problems will probably set the tone for how the royal family moves with the times while keeping its practices alive. How well these problems are solved, and how well the royal family can mix their personal relationships with their public duties, will determine the future of the monarchy and Camilla's role in it.